That's frosty. Whoops. Oh, yeah, we're actually on right now.
Oh, don't matter.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was still doing.
When this warms up, you lose the it changes
Oh,
to
the
just
texture.
a white bottle.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Go back on without me taking the thing off.
Yeah. So what kind of whiskey is this?
Johnny Walker.
Oh, Johnny Walker. Okay.
Johnny Walker, White Walker.
Got it.
Johnny Walker, White Walker by Johnny Walker.
Uh-huh.
There's another one called Jane Walker. There's Johnny Walker Black.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We're on.
Yeah.
It's the Sini-Gang with l-boogy.
And Sterno Supernova.
What's going on there, Sterno?
Nothing much, Boogie. How you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Yeah. This is a special episode. Firstly, we're drinking some Johnny Walker, White Walker whiskey.
We're celebrating.
Yes.
We're celebrating Game of Thrones. We are about to watch the final episode.
Right.
Tonight. As we record this. So yeah. This is it.
And neither you nor neither you nor I are actually in the camp of people that are like really pissed off about what's going on with the show. So we're just waiting to see how it ends up, right?
I believe Game of Thrones is fine the way it is. A lot of people are hating on the final season. People hate the turns of some characters.
Mm-hmm.
They hate the deaths of some characters. And I've always said it's not for the fans to decide how the show goes. It's the writers and the showrunners. They decide, and the fans take it or hate it.
Right.
Don't change it.
Well, you're allowed to have your opinion.
Yeah, you can hate it,
but you don't control it.
No. And I like the fact that they are not doing
formulaic Hollywood stuff.
It's not what people are expecting. People expect to watch a show to have a happy ending or certain things that happen, and this show is just not doing it.
That's part of what the charm of the show was, is that it didn't do stuff you would it wasn't predictable exactly unless you read the books, or at least there was a lot of surprises there. And I don't know, I think the last season had a lot of, I don't know if you call it fan service, but a lot of things that people wanted to happen. And they got I think people got spoiled, or they got the idea that it's going to be this kind of ending and everything's going to be all rosy.
People are saying, I can't wait for this to happen, then it happened.
Right.
I can't wait for this to happen, then it happened.
And people got into that mode where it's like,
now they're like, well, this is not what I expected.
This is not what I wanted for this character.
And I had no problem with it, because to me, a lot of people say it doesn't make sense for this character to do this, or this character is out of their character to do what they are doing.
And I don't agree with that.
And I say, yes, there have been things sprinkled throughout the show that said, yes, this does make sense for this person.
Yeah, it didn't come out of nowhere. If you've been paying attention and not just kind of putting aside stuff that didn't fit what you wanted to happen.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of the people who watch the show. And I'm not dissing everybody, but the fact that the show has gotten so big that it's gone beyond your cult following, it's gone beyond your regular geeky following.
It's hit cultural phenomenon level.
It's become mainstream.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
become mainstream. When you become mainstream, you get a lot of, I don't want to call them bandwagon watchers, but people who just watch.
What do you think the definition of a bandwagon watcher? You're just saying it without saying the term is what you're doing. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, these bandwagon watchers,
Uh-huh.
or your other people, they're not going deep into the stories or going deep into the characters, or
I mean, people
they're just taking it for what it is on the surface.
right.
And that's why you don't when the turns happen, or the twists happen, if you just taking the show for what you get on the surface, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But then if you delve deeper and really dissect the characters' personalities and all that, then a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff does make sense.
Yeah. I mean, other than what, like you said, I told you before, I watch those reaction videos, and you can see the people that know, they understand how this this story works. It's not going to be, like we said, typical Hollywood, and then they're watching this and they're like, oh, people that are on board with this character are going to be pissed, but they understand, hey, this is what it's a twist and turn kind of thing, and even beyond that, it's been laid down. They're like, a lot of people are like, I told you from the beginning, I saw this coming, and I'm like, yeah, we all saw it coming, but apparently not everybody did. So,
And that's the problem. Like I said, not everybody did, because
Yeah.
they're not.
They got blinders on for certain characters. They got this. They got this want, and they figure it's going to be satisfied. I don't think it's going to be satisfied for a lot of people. So,
And it just takes like a little bit of people to start yelling and ranting and raving to it's like a virus, and then other people start ranting and raving, and then other people start ranting and raving, and all of a sudden it seems like that's the popular opinion, when it's really not. But that's how it works these days.
I mean, you can complain about a bunch of things for the show. It's not a perfect show. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like you can say the pacing may be too quick, or you can say there's something established for some people, but I don't know. If you're just coming at it with your own expectations and kind of projecting it, like, oh, it's not doing what's supposed to do, this is what's supposed to happen, then yeah, you're gonna be disappointed. Sorry.
I saw a lot of this hate with The Last Jedi, with Star Wars Episode 8. I understand a lot of the plot hate with some of the plot and stuff, but then it gets the Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, gets a lot of hate. People say it's like the worst Star Wars ever and stuff like that, and to me, it's not.
No.
And I think a lot of that is basically the same thing we're seeing with Game of Thrones. A lot of people saying, "Hey, this season is terrible," and it doesn't make sense. To me, it's the same people ranting and raving, and the same spread of hate amongst the fans and all that.
Right.
And like I said,
it's not just, I mean, it happens in a lot of different kind of fandoms. I mean, I watched Doctor Who. There was a change in character and change in actor. It's not what people expected. It's like a total.
You can't make a woman Doctor Who.
I'm going before that.
I know. But
Yeah,
that's the easy one.
Yeah, that's a different thing. Yeah, but that's true. That's another one. But there's one where they went from a young guy to an older guy that was for a young, energetic kind of. I don't know. People, I guess some of the women liked him, and then they got this older guy that's cranky, kind of an old man vibe, but he's still cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I saw him in person.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about from Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi, and
he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah,
I want to watch the show.
It's a different show. That's the point. The show evolved. It's not going to be what but people just all of a sudden, oh, this show is terrible. This show is not what it's supposed to be. It's just, I'm like, that's what. It happens with fandoms. I mean, a lot of them. It just gets poisonous because, like you say, it's a viral thing where one person starts it and it just continues.
And I hate that. People do that all the time now.
Voltron. I watched the Voltron, the new version of it, where people it just got bad. People just got angry about it. So I mean, you just gotta like either ignore it or just don't look at the comment section of whatever you're looking at or whatever. Just try to enjoy what you're watching, and if you don't like the way it's done, make your own thing. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just the toxic fandom stuff. Just kind of, it's just getting old. It's getting.
I know. All in the Family didn't have this problem.
Yeah. When Happy Days jumped the shark, we all look back on it years later, but no one started going, putting these campaigns.
Change the show. Kill Fonzie.
He actually jumped over a shark, and I can't believe they did that. That kind of thing. I don't know. Well, we'll just see what happens. The show is almost
just imagine if they had this like social media and all that back in the 80s. And
oh my God, they killed James in Good Times.
I know.
Damn. I don't know. I mean, come on. It's just, yeah. I don't know. That would have been something.
You can't have a man touching those little boys on different strokes.
Oh my God.
I hate this show.
Oh wow. You went there. That was like one of the scarring things in my childhood. It's like, what?
Exactly. That's one of those things in your childhood that you would have jumped on the internet. Like, what the hell? What the hell just happened on different strokes?
I don't understand what happened to Arnold and Dudley.
Why did Arnold and Dudley watch a cartoon of monkeys having sex?
What's going on? I don't understand. And all these people, my child, that's not appropriate. Oh my God. And all these like experts going, oh my God, it would have been crazy. So crazy.
I know. But hey, it's the times we live in.
Right.
You watch that one dude, he's like he's a big Game of Thrones fan. He makes the songs every Sunday.
No, I don't know what
you're Sunday, Game of Thrones. You're missing out. That dude's hilarious. Well, it's the last.
I have to go backwards and listen to know how many years has he been doing this.
Not long. Okay. This whole season is gotten big because every episode he sort of, he puts his thoughts into the Game of Thrones song. It's the Game of Thrones theme.
Yeah.
And then he's singing. He made his own song to the Game of Thrones theme.
Oh, okay.
And every Sunday, and I sing along with him nowadays because I enjoy it.
Okay.
I used to do that with my own. Back when I was younger, like video games would have like a theme song.
Oh, right.
And I would make up my own lyrics.
Did you have a Mario version?
Dun, 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 dun. I did. I can't remember that one.
Oh, okay.
I remember
I am running all over the place.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I had
Pac-Man. Oh yeah, Pac-Man. What's Pac-Man? The song. I'm trying to remember the song. Oh yeah. Wow. You really must have
because the song went Inky Blinky Pinky and Clyde coming out of the other side, and then I had more to it, but
wow, you really wow. Okay.
I did that stuff.
You could have put that out there and maybe gotten some back. You should have put that on YouTube back when it was new.
Back in 1985, yeah. I should have YouTubed
would have been viral, man.
My Pac-Man song.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had other ones. That's the one that comes to my head right now. But yeah, this guy does it with Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Sunday, cool. Game of Thrones. And then he said like, if you signed the petition, you're stupid stuff like that.
I mean, there's people that I respect and care about that were really pissed. I get it. I mean, I get them being pissed. But just calm down. That's all I can. I mean, I have friends who literally named their kids after the character that did this weird stuff, and I'm just like,
that's your fault.
Yeah,
that's your fault. You stuff like this could happen on a TV show.
Yeah, you wait till something's over before you start naming your kids like
Walter White.
That's the first episode. The first episode, you're in trouble.
I know.
I like this guy, Walter White. I'm gonna name my kid after this kid's born like 5 minutes into the first episode of Breaking Bad. They're like, oh no.
Well, see, a lot of people think he's fine until the very end where he turns straight evil.
What do you mean he's okay? If you want to think so, but
he's walking a fine line at the beginning.
It's not even the very end where he's like, I am the
Yeah, well, that's towards the end of the season. I mean, the end of the run.
All right, yeah.
But even before that, back when he's trying to support his family before he died of cancer. Mm-hmm. It's sort of a good thing.
Sorry if we spoiled it for you. But yeah.
I mean, that's the plot of the show. It's a man with cancer. He's about to die, so he starts cooking meth to make money for his family.
Okay.
Yeah, so when he dies, his family will have money.
Mm-hmm.
It's money that is tainted money, but hey, and for a lot of people, that's okay. For me,
Right.
that's okay. I'm good with it.
Okay. So,
It's like Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman.
uh-huh.
You know, he starts off the show as a drug dealer, um, but he's still a likable character.
Right,
I
right.
still call him a protagonist as a good guy,
Yeah.
even though he's a drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Right, right. So, yeah.
moving on.
Yes.
So,
The other part of the show, I guess we're going to talk about.
are we doing that?
I don't know. It's up to you. Or you want to move on to something else? Sorry. I cut your throat off. Your thought off. Your throat off. I cut you off in the middle of a thought. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, we're still on Game of Thrones here.
No, you just said we're moving off of that.
I know we are, but you cut my throat right there.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm watching. We're watching the most recent episode while this show is going
And
on.
the dude's cutting throats.
I know. I guess it with a slip of the tongue, a thrust of the spear. I guess. Ugh. Anyway.
So,
yeah.
Let's move on. Next topic: Dante Basco.
Yes, Dante Basco.
Dante Basco. I believe most of you listening to the show know who he is.
But just for people that don't know who he is,
Filipino actor.
Yeah.
Probably the prolific Filipino actor. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like, who do we put on the? Let's say, who do we put on the Mount Rushmore of Filipino-American acting?
Yeah.
Do we have 4? Do we have 4 we can put up there?
Do we? Yeah, I don't know if there's a Mount
do we
Rushmore.
have a Mount Rushmore? Do we just have a Statue of Liberty?
Well, definitely Dante Basco is on the mountain. We don't know who else is going to be on the mountain. What?
I mean, see, that's the thing. We've come to the point where we do have more Filipino actors out there.
Right.
I mean, we've talked about them, but we don't know if they are at that level yet.
Would we put Lou Diamond Phillips on that?
Yes.
So that's 2.
I would put Lou Diamond Phillips. I personally put Ernie Reyes Jr. on there.
So we have 3.
But he's a.
If he like in the middle where you don't really.
The problem with Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
He's a pioneer.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the library or the
notoriety.
Yeah. If you're gonna say what's the premier Ernie Reyes Jr. film, what do you say? The Last Dragon. What would you say is the second movie?
The Sidekicks. It's not a movie. That's the Rundown.
Yeah, the Rundown. This is thunder. This is lightning. Is that what it is?
He was
Stifler.
Yeah. I just remember him doing the Muhammad Ali like a butterfly thing, like a bee. Rumble.
But still, Ernie Reyes is in that. But then we're reaching with those movies now.
And what's his name? Oh damn! I just blanked on his name. The guy we were talking before. It's going to be on John Wick.
Mark Dacascos.
Dacascos.
Yes, I would.
Is he on there?
See, that's the thing.
Is there a female?
They do a lot. I mean, Tia Carrera. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I don't want to diss all the Filipino actors out there because I know there's a lot. We can go Shay Mitchell. We can go Vanessa Hudgens. We can go. But I
still think Vanessa Hudgens is like hasn't reached the highest.
Same with that's why I'm not putting them up there yet. They're still down.
They haven't hit the highest.
If you want to put Haley Steinfeld in there,
there's a lot of people of note. We're just trying to figure out who's the top.
Yes, or the when you say Filipino actor, you or Filipino American actor, you think this person automatically. Right. Like I said, there's a lot of other ones out there.
Yeah,
a lot of iffy ones too. So.
It was Nia Peoples, right?
Yeah, see, Nia Peoples is I would put her up there, but see, that's mainly because of a nostalgia thing. Yeah. Also being a pioneer in the game.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to say.
But Dante Basco is also it's a definite.
I was gonna say he's undisputed.
Yeah, he is first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yep.
He is. He's a no doubter.
Right. So, and the reason we're talking about him is because,
I mean, there's Rob Schneider also, and
yeah,
I would put him up there. Batista, if you want to call him an actor.
Oh, you have to.
Avengers is huge. I mean, he has been doing big movies lately.
Yeah, you have to call him an actor at this point.
Yeah, Phoebe Cates, was she Filipino? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, so too many people are saying yes, though. A lot of people saying no.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little unsure about her. I don't know what her ethnicity is.
Yeah, so yeah, basically we're saying Dante Basco to us, in our opinion. I mean, I think you could make an argument for Lou Diamond Phillips, though.
Yeah.
Between Lou Diamond Phillips, who has
Yeah.
he has a good catalog of movies, between Young Guns and La Bamba,
yeah.
Courage Under Fire. Remember him in that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I watched him when
The Big Hit.
Oh yeah,
I love the Big Hit.
Yeah, I forgot about the Big Hit. Yeah.
And then like I said, Rob Schneider's also. The problem is Rob Schneider makes a lot of bad movies.
Yeah.
But
he did Deuce Bigelow, and that was a great movie.
Also, another thing is he is Filipino, but he doesn't look Filipino, which I know is a bad thing to say. But if you ask people who's a great Filipino actor, and you say Rob Schneider, a majority of the people in the world will say he's Filipino. What?
Right.
Mm-hmm. But he is Filipino, and I credit him for being a Filipino actor, and I probably would put him up there.
Okay.
As a Filipino Mount Rushmore. He's on my Filipino Mount Rushmore.
Okay, just so that we can clear up the Phoebe Cates thing. Her father and maternal grandmother were of Russian Jewish descent, and her maternal grandfather was Chinese Filipino.
See, it's
yeah.
It's one of those things like, do you count her?
Yeah. I mean, like if she was like that much black, they would like, yeah, she's black. I would think.
I think so. A lot of Filipinos will say. We've talked to people who say, what is the quote from Fred Cordova?
Oh, I don't remember.
He said, if there's just a drop, they're Filipino. So it's something like it's along those lines.
Okay.
If there's just a drop, then they're Filipino.
Yeah.
It's not the exact quote, but
that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So just needless to say, we were saying that Dante Basco, absolute first round pick, Hall of Famer, like you say, the Mount Rushmore, if they ever make one, of Filipino-American actors, entertainers.
Who's been doing it for the last 30 some years.
Yeah. I mean, wow.
I mean, most people remember him from Rufio in Hook as the first thing. He did a few things before that.
Right.
But Rufio in Hook, the Peter Pan movie back in 1991.
Yeah. I don't know what year it was.
I believe it was. I was still in. I was young.
Yeah, it was with the one with Robin Williams. If you're trying to remember what.
I say that was 91 or 92.
So that was a big. Yeah, it had Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman was in that movie.
Yeah, and that's why. And Julia Roberts and.
Oh yeah, Julia Roberts. I forgot. Tinkerbell. Yeah. Dang.
He was amongst those heavy hitters.
Right.
And to this day, if you say Rufio, if you just yell Rufio, everyone knows who you're talking about.
I posted a picture of me and him together from Taiwan Comic-Con where we just saw him. And I got like 3 people like immediately, Rufio. So yeah, that's how people think of him. I mean, that's the one that, sticks out to people.
So, yes, so this past weekend, Dante Basco was in Virginia Beach, Virginia, our hometown.
Right.
So, doing a Comic-Con thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we, thanks to the help of Kid Heroes
mm-hmm.
Productions, check them out.
Yes.
Kid Heroes Productions. We were able to hit up Dante Basco, meet up with him.
Yeah, he graciously gave us a bit of his time, which was, he was very, his schedule was pretty intense.
Yeah, we had no clue if we were going to be able to even just talk to him beyond a hello, hey,
right,
this is Sterno, this is l-boogy, we're fans, ha ha ha, let's take a picture, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we expected.
Mm-hmm.
But Dante Basco was cool. He
was way cooler than I mean he's cool anyway, but he was really generous with his time with us. I was so impressed.
What I like about him the most is what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
He
doesn't put on any kind of airs or anything.
Yeah. He is what you see on TV, what you see in interviews, what you hear in podcasts. That's who he is in real life.
Yeah.
He's just like that.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks a lot about how he grew up. he grew up in Hollywood and how he is Hollywood, and
Yeah.
so you would expect him to be uh stuck up
No,
and
he's not.
yeah. When you think of people who grew up in Hollywood and all that, because he was basically a child actor,
Right.
and now he's an adult, and you hear a lot of stuff about child actors and how they turn out,
Yeah.
and he just seems to have turned out just like how any other Filipino growing up in California would turn out.
Yeah. So yeah.
So we talked to him for a bit. While we were talking to him, we decided to actually start recording our conversation.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's record this for our podcast.
Right.
So so yeah, we meet him. We do. I was trying so hard when we were talking to him to not gush, to not be the fanboy,
Mhm.
to not because I
Yeah.
am a Dante Basco expert. I know a lot
Yes.
about him.
Yes, you are.
Ever since we were out, ever since Rufio and Pan, I've watched almost everything I could of Dante Basco because that was my thing. There was no Filipinos in movies or anything. So when Dante Basco was in a movie, you were like, yo, we got to see this movie. It's Dante Basco. He's in it. So I did see a lot of Faking the Funks and
yeah.
and Biker Boys and
right. I mean, a lot of people don't get how important it is. Why representation is so important to minorities, because when you don't see yourself on screen, you're not normal. It's not. I don't know. It makes it like the white male is the norm, and you are not the norm. You're outside of the mainstream. So seeing yourself, it's huge. So seeing yourself, your culture, your race represented, it's a big deal.
And we grew up with Dante Basco. He is basically our generation. So when he was a kid, we were kids.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, he was growing up. We were watching it on TV.
Yeah.
We were watching it in the movies. So to me, it was a big deal to finally meet the dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, he is my Leonardo DiCaprio. He is my Johnny Depp.
Right.
To me, he is that guy.
Yeah. It was funny because we were talking to him, and like we said earlier, it's just like talking to. He's easy to talk to. It's really cool. But we were talking to him, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, this is a great conversation. And all of a sudden, I had these flashes, like, oh crap, I'm talking to Dante Basco, and like this guy who's talking about, yeah, I'm the same. Because in the panel, he's talking about how he was a contemporary of like Leonardo DiCaprio and all that stuff, and it's just like this is a guy that's done the Hollywood thing, and I just forget, like, I forgot because he puts me at ease when I was talking to him. And then you're like, oh, and then you listen to what he's saying, and you're like, wow, it's
when I say Dante Basco, what movies automatically, or what projects automatically pop in your head?
I had to go with the debut because of because when he did that was huge for me. Just I actually had a poster of the debut, which is a depiction of Filipino life, of someone's sister having a debut thing, and it was huge because it had actual Filipino cultural elements, like they talked about how the family interacts, the whole debut process, how Filipinos are into car culture, how all this stuff. And I was
it took the Filipino-American lifestyle in 1990. It came out 18 years ago, so that would be 1999,
2001,
1997, 2000. No, yeah, around.
Yeah, I mean,
let me look that up.
2019. So I mean.
The debut came out in 2000.
Okay.
2000. So the debut, in fact, some of our listeners weren't even born.
Oh wow. Yeah.
When the debut came out.
Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine how at that time there was nothing, no movie that incorporated the Filipino-American lifestyle
the experience. At that moment. Yeah.
Because to be honest, I even talked to the writer and director Gene Kajayon about this when the movie came out back in 2000. He we met him, and he brought the movie to Virginia Beach. We hung out, and I talked to him about the story. We both. I told him it's not the most original story, but the fact that it depicts Filipino lifestyle just how it is a big deal.
Yes.
And he's actually said, yo, I purposely made it not the greatest story. He's like, he says if you just write a story that white people have never heard of, it's an original story to them, even though
Okay.
to us it's just like another Saturday,
Yeah.
just another Saturday night,
Right.
which it was to us at the time. We go to parties all the time. We go
Yep.
to a lot of debuts. We go to a lot of weddings,
Yeah.
and the debut was basically a movie about a party, one of those parties.
Right.
The lead up to the party and then the aftermath of the party. And there's a little love story.
I
in
mean,
there.
there's a bunch of little, nods to Filipino cultural idiosyncrasies. Like one of the uncles is always late, and then he had the same excuse, and it's like, like the lateness is part of Filipino culture. And and it was just like,
yeah, the white friend who comes over to the household who's never
yeah.
seen a lot of the Filipino stuff, like the barrel man.
Oh yeah, that's good about that part. Yeah, it's like, why does it smell so weird in this house?
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
And that's like stuff we joked about all the time as as Filipinos. That's
Yeah.
just little stuff, and he just put it in a movie.
Yeah, but hey, that's huge. Like I said, that was big. So it's a big deal.
So yeah, Dante Basco was the star of that.
So what do you think of when I say Dante Basco?
Rufio, Hook,
Right.
and then as of late, Zuko, and
Yeah.
Avatar, the voice of Zuko.
Mhm.
During our panel, so he does a panel. It's Comic-Con. He does a panel and talks about. A lot of people were asking about a lot of the other projects he's done, like, which I was surprised about. I'm surprised people brought up Jake Long, American.
I'd forgotten about that one too. I was like, oh crap. I mean, it's on the sheet for the panel, but I didn't.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Was there a sheet for the panel?
There were like when they were advertising him in his Comic-Con, they actually put his some of his credits, and that was one of them.
American Dragon Jake Long, which is a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Which people actually pointed out that makes you a Disney
character.
That puts you in the Disney family.
Right. And you're thinking he was the first Asian? I mean, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah. Jake Long was a long time ago.
Was that before Mulan, I guess? Maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure when Mulan came out. I have to look that one up.
I don't know either, but
yeah, I mean, that's huge too. I mean, I keep saying the word huge, but
it was around the same time because we have a friend whose daughter used to love Mulan.
Right.
And she's in college now.
Oh my gosh. Right.
And I remember she would sing that Mulan song all the time.
Be a man.
Yeah, I used to hate that.
Yeah, I know. It's cool the first time. The second time, it's like, okay.
It's like nowadays how kids will sing Frozen songs over and over and over again.
Yeah. Okay, so he's one of because Mulan is 98.
Yeah.
So I don't know when Jake Long. Let me try. I could look it up.
Jake Long was 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Around then, maybe later.
All right, American Dragon.
But it's still a Disney thing, and it ties in with Kim Possible. If you guys know Kim Possible,
right?
So, but I just never thought of him as like a Disney guy.
But yeah.
But that puts him as he did. Well, that someone in the panel pointed that out. Said, "Hey, that you're in the Disney family."
Right.
So for cool. Doing that. But yeah, I think of that. I think of. Like I said, I've seen so many movies. I remember seeing him in the movie Take the Lead, which he talked about in our panel.
Right.
It's a movie about dancing.
Right. And I joke about him being in Biker Boys with a
lot of people love Biker Boys.
Larry Fishburne and who else?
Tyrese was in that, right? No, it wasn't Tyrese.
What's his name? I just blanked on it. The guy that was he's in a bunch of stuff. I just don't remember his name. He was one of the members of the Captain America's crew, and then he was also on that one. Oh crap! Anyway, yeah, he was in Biker Boy. So yeah,
Lisa Bonet was in that.
Yeah,
so that's that shows how old that movie is.
Right. Well, there's the part where he and his brother are in that, and they're like, and I would joke about how that's cool. He just kind of put them in there, and that was neat, though. I mean, it made the movie for me just seeing like Filipino guy in there. It was just cool. Yeah. Although he didn't get to ride a motorcycle, he was on like a 4-wheeler, ATV kind of looking thing.
He was on Moesha. He was on Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Mm-hmm. Cameos in both of those.
Right.
Yeah, he was in a lot of things. So yeah, when I think Dante Basco, that's what I think.
Right.
And like I said, he is big time for me. So like I said, we spoke to him. and I was trying so hard not to be the fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
But we're about to play some of the interview, but I think I failed at that.
A little bit. I mean, you were knowledgeable. You know, it's okay. I mean,
I wanted to just have him. I just want him to be quiet and me just gush over his career
Right.
over and
I was gonna
for
say,
20 minutes.
I'm gonna say you weren't obnoxiously fanboy, but you were.
I was holding back a lot.
Yeah, but you were showing that you know what you're doing. You know, and I think he appreciated that you knew so much about him.
But the what I enjoy about him the most is not just what he's done on the screen, but what he does behind the scenes.
Yeah, which was new. A lot of that stuff was revelation to me because I didn't know how much he was doing. I hadn't really been keeping up with what he did, and I was like, oh crap, he's doing that now, and it's like that's neat. So.
Yeah. So yeah, in fact, back in the late '90s, he would hold these poetry sessions in his house, or him and his friends would just get together and do poetry, which ends up to be like these poetry, basically what you see in like coffee shops nowadays, or lyricist lounge kind of stuff. And it was just him and a few friends, and more friends would join it, and it became a big thing. And later on in LA, it became a huge thing, and then it became a really huge thing to the point where it got emulated, and people started taking the same ideal and using it in other places. And I had mentioned to him that I had heard of it in here on the East Coast in Virginia Beach, and I actually tried to do a little something like that with our friends and all that.
Right.
Yeah, and out of that spawned Def Poetry Jam on HBO. And that spawned Def Poetry Jam on Broadway, which ended up winning a Tony Award. So he's big on hip hop. But like I said, we talked to him for a while. Like I said, we were actually talking to him before we started recording. So I'm trying to catch up where we are.
Yeah.
And I believe we are at the poetry section. So I'm gonna play some of what we talked about with the Dante Basco. And like I said, I believe we start off with him talking about the poetry sessions that he was holding off in his in LA at his house, and how it spread over all the way across the country, 3,000 miles away, all the way to me sitting in my living room in Virginia Beach. And that's how big of an impact it was. So yeah, and mind you, this was recorded at a Comic-Con, so there's background noise, things going on.
A little bit of an echo going on too.
Yeah.
So
and this is like the first time doing this. We had no clue how it was going to sound. So bear with us. And here we go. Dante Basco.
How it affects, or where it ripples.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that it is making an impact somewhere, and it's affecting people, and people are kind of like being a part of the culture, which is great. I mean, the poetry scene, super big to me.
Yeah.
I started a poetry venue in my living room over 20 years ago, and then collaborated with some of my best friends and favorite poets, Shihan, Poetry, Brother Jamel, and we founded the Poetry Lounge.
Yeah, Poetry Lounge was huge. Like I said, we hear about the Poetry Lounge in Virginia Beach, 3,000 miles away, and it's not. And it's like crazy. It seemed like a little secret underground poetry thing you guys were doing, and
it was, and it just kind of grew from my living room to the sandwich shop to the theater, and then
to eventually Def Jam.
Yeah, it became the inspiration, which became Def Jam on HBO. Went to Broadway. They won a Tony. And us
Tony for Def Jam, which
being a part, it's like the connection of that. And being a part of Def Jam, which is like in the hip hop scene, it's like iconic name, and so even now to this day, it's it's heralded as the largest weekly open mic venue in the country.
Nice,
which is crazy. Over 20 years now, so it's definitely something I'm proud of. I mean, I love being a poet. I love writing poems and digesting my life through poetry, but I also love being a part of a crew that created a home for everyone to share their stories. It's cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, I grew up in Virginia Beach. We had back in the 80s and 70s, we didn't have the Filipino representation or anything. So basically, when we were growing up, we just knew us.
Okay.
We don't know what's going on in California. We don't know what's going on in New York. So I'm doing the b-boy thing. Friends are rapping, and all of a sudden you come out, Rufio, and all of a sudden people say, "Hey, this this kid is just like us here in Virginia Beach. I mean, he's doing the hip hop thing.
Yeah.
He's a good rapper. I mean,
I met Chad Hugo.
Really?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact,
We met. We did the Black Eyed Peas video.
Apple Song.
Apple Song. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I hung out with him last week. He had a big old festival here for Pharrell.
Oh yeah. That's
And,
something in the water, right?
yeah.
And it was dope. I want to come back for
Yeah,
that.
you should have been here. Yeah.
Yeah. Come back next
Yeah,
year.
in
Yeah,
fact,
huh?
I'll let him know. I'll
Yeah.
let him know
Yeah.
to hook you up for that.
I'd love to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad Hugo grew up here, and
Yeah.
Filipinos around here is like, oh, that's just Chad.
Yeah.
He a legend, man. He a
Yeah.
legend.
Because I see, I'll go out to Vegas or whatever, and people mob him. Then he'll come to Virginia Beach, and then he'll be like, just walking at Walmart buying trash bags, and
Cool.
like nobody
Hometown.
cares.
Hometown.
Yeah. Same with Brandon Vera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Vera, used to play football with us and everything.
Really?
And then
So
he
you
moved
guys are
up.
football players? What position?
No, this was a college
Flag
like pickup
football.
game.
Okay.
All I saw was Bradley.
And Brandon's a big old
Scott.
MMA UFC fighter
Yeah,
now. And he moved to San Diego, started his own gym. So yeah.
Awesome, man.
Don't play football against Brandon Vera.
Yeah.
But it's
I
crazy
wouldn't.
because the Filipinos around here, it's a struggle to get out of the 757 area.
Okay.
And it's good to see
Yeah.
you guys in Hollywood breaking out, because it's hard for us to do it here until we see someone else.
Well, the
do it
world's
there.
changed too, like with the internet, with like YouTube and the cats I've been able to collaborate with and get inspired by.
Yeah.
And, and also help advise and give guidance when they need it. The AJ Raphaels,
Yeah, we see you collaborating with AJ a lot now.
He's like
I
a
heard
little-
you on the Joe Coy podcast
Joe
last
Coy.
week.
Yeah, like we're all connected, and the more and more as people start rising, we all connect because we do share, an experience growing up being Filipino in America. And it's a comfortableness about that. And we definitely, root for each other, ride for each other. And so it's a really, really great time. I mean, us as Asians in America are at the highest profile we've ever been in the history of America. Us as Filipinos in America
That
are
shit's crazy.
the highest
Yeah.
profile we've ever been in the history of America. So
30 years ago, like I said, it
Yeah.
was just Ernie Reyes Jr.
yeah,
That was it.
so it's our time to and there's places to go. There's a lot of work to
Oh
do.
yeah.
But it's a time to celebrate, it's a time to create
Mhm.
is what it is.
So we should strike. We got to strike now.
We have to like create systems that we are the arbiters of taste for, that we are helping to fund projects, that we are supporting projects that are out there. Look, I grew up in Hollywood in a time where, and it's still like this to a degree, like if you're not white, you're black, right?
Right.
And so I grew up in Black Hollywood. And so I paid my bills for many years through Black Hollywood, through shows like Moesha and Steve Harvey's show. And you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of course. We all remember you
So
from
all that
Moesha.
stuff, we did all that stuff,
Faking
doing
the funk.
films, faking the funk. Biker Boys. Like I grew up, I'm not white. Like
Yeah.
if you do a who's of Black Hollywood in the 90s and 2000s, like I was there. Like
Yeah.
I paid my bills through the whole scene. Those are like my people.
And the thing is, we watched those movies. We watched those shows
Right.
because, hey, Dante Basco's
Right.
on there.
But the thing is, they created a world. Not that it's a perfect world, but they got BET. They're doing, 10 to a dozen plus films a year. Some are making some are making it out in theaters. Some are just going to the liquor store. But they're making movies, and their stars are starting to happen, and it's been happening through music and film. So I was also around during the 90s when the Latino explosion happened, like it's happening right now for the Asians, and it's beautiful. And there's going to be stars that, J-Lo came out of it, Mark Anthony, Ricky Martin, but the George Lopez show did get canceled.
Right.
Fresh Off the Boat is going to get canceled. We are going to have our J-Los. We are going to have our Ricky Martins. But what happened with the Latino explosion, they didn't create a system. They didn't create a Latino-American, English-speaking Latino scene where they created Black Hollywood. So we have a chance to create something. If we don't create it right now while we have the heat and while we're riding the wave is going to pass. Something else is going to come up. If we haven't taken this opportunity as a community to really figure out how to not just be in studio films, but also create our own film and television that we are producing, that we are funding from the ground up or from the top down, then the wave is going to pass us by, and we're going to be, where the Latinos are, where now they're behind the Asians. So that's a lesson we have to learn. And in being Filipino, that we are part Latino also. I've also talked to Latino communities and going, well, how do we bring this back for what we're doing in the Latino scene? Because like, well, same thing. We have to use the groundswell. You have to get more Latinos and Asians in of course, in the executive positions in the industry, and writers to write the stories.
Are there more out there?
There
we
are.
know Dean Devlin and guys
Dean
like
Devlin's
him.
happening, but it's very small. But then you also have to get the community to support, not only by just buying tickets to stuff like Crazy Rich Asians and stuff like that, but also as we're funding all this new independent film market. Like now we have crowdfunding. Now we can create slates of films and get communities to help fund these movies for them to come out. Now we know it's not enough to have a movie a year. I say we need a movie every month.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're like, what? They're like, we need a movie every month. Justin Sean, who's a good friend, we produced his first film he directed called Man Up out of Hawaii. His second film he did was called Gook.
Mm-hmm. I love the Gook.
Awesome movie. Crazy. And he shot
it. In fact, it tells a good story about that time.
Right.
You don't think about
Paramount. That's the town I grew up in LA.
Yeah, you don't think about the Asians there
during
at
the riots.
Time.
Right.
Exactly.
And so he did that film and he shot it for $100,000.
Which is nothing.
Nothing. And it went in and it won the audience award at Sundance. And my whole thing, when I talk about is like, if we can get 20,000 Asian Americans, people that want to support Asian American filmmaking, to give $5 a month, we can do a Gook every month.
Mm-hmm.
And not just with any actors. We have a slate of actors that are like Justin Sean or Steve Ewan, or like, we're connected to all the people, all the Asians in Hollywood. We can put the slate together where we can do all these indie films funded by the people and then just have them out in the theaters. Just starting to create our own ecosystem. And that's success. Success is like not having to go to the studios. More, like it's always going to be part of if you ever have a project and you have the ability to go to the studio and you have a meeting there, you can pitch it to them and maybe they can help fund it. That's always going to be part of the strategy. Up to now, that's been the only strategy. That can't be the only strategy. The rest of the strategy has to be us figuring out a way for us to fund our own films within our community. Because at the end of the day, the system's still white. And so to ask white people to fund brown movies, it's like, nothing against it. It's not racist. It's just like not the optimum situation.
Right.
And if they do Asian films, they may do one every year, a few years. That's fine. But we should be collectively funding our own projects. And if we have to start small, $100,000 films, we can put together a film fund through the community and through, bigger money people and start building these movies out. And let's get them going. My goal is to have a film coming out every month for the community in the pockets, especially that are like Virginia Beach, the Bay Area, LA, where we know there's big, even with the Filipino community alone, outside the Asian American community, if we can have, it's just not me doing it. I'm talking about everybody. Even if we had a film once a year for the Filipino community, which we haven't done since the debut. And again, part of it's my generation and us that we dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like
after we saw the debut, we took the success.
The debut,
we didn't do the next thing.
The debut made $2.1 million in the box office.
It sold out every
18 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, why we didn't do another one? Why we couldn't do a film a year as a community? Because once you have that circuit, then now we have something. Even if we were able to come even once a year with a double feature, but we know every year it's going to come back, and then hopefully you get it twice a year. Then maybe you get it once every season, and then now we have this thing where filmmakers are going to be able to make films, and we're going to be able to get it out to people. Let alone now we have all these other outlets, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, that we could sell to afterwards. But the community wants it. I mean, so many YouTube stars on YouTube, it's like, that are Asian. It's just the time for us to kind of think differently, put it together differently, start small. And,
is there anything coming out now that you see? I mean, I know Joe Coy's got the animated show.
His animated show. There's a lot. We just finished a movie called Empty by Design that we produced that just opened at the LA Asian Film Festival. That's coming out. There's so many cool films coming out. There's a film called Yellow Rose.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for Yellow Rose with what's her name? Broadway, Lea Salonga.
Oh,
yeah,
Salonga.
yeah.
Really awesome.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of movement going on. It's about trying to kind of like,
Yeah. Because we're at that turning point on the road, and we just
Yeah.
got to pick the right lane.
we got to pick the right lane, but we got to keep it moving,
Yeah.
and we have to just galvanize the community with a really good idea that people can get behind. And look, well, as we do movies like Hollywood, not all the movies are going to be good,
No.
No.
and someone's going to like everything, but no one's going to like all the movies.
Right.
So how you got to think is, when you think of movie slates, is if I'm able to come to a company or come to a community and go, all right, here's 6 movies that we're producing. We need $1 million to shoot 6 movies. Not one movie for $1 million. We're gonna do 6 movies for $1 million. Now we have 6 chances that you're gonna like something. But not only that, we're going to employ a generation of people in front of and behind the camera. That's actually more important, because the more experience we have on movie sets, acting, directing, writing, someone doing sound, it's the craft. Movie making is a craftsmanship thing.
Mm-hmm.
So part of why we don't scale as fast as we should is that we're just not working as much as we should.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you create an environment where we are actually hiring Asians in front of, behind the camera, now you're able to scale faster and do more. The only way to win is to make more movies.
Yeah.
So it's about making more movies, having a way to distribute them. So that's what we're working on.
Nice. What about you personally? What's next for Dante Basco? What are you working on, and what are we going to see from you in the near future?
Oh yeah,
Do you have any involvement in the new Avatar coming out on Netflix, or?
Yeah. I mean, it's still undisclosed what's going on. I've been meeting with them,
Yeah.
but we're gonna be doing. I'll be involved.
Yeah.
Also, I'm directing a movie this summer, a film called The Fabulous Filipino Brothers.
Ooh.
I wrote with my brothers.
Sounds gangsterish.
No, it's kind of like, it's a comedy.
Okay.
It's like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Filipino style,
Oh.
meets, I always say meets like Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
So not the violence of Pulp Fiction.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
No, but the zaniness and the craziness
Yeah.
of Pulp Fiction. It's 4 brothers, 4 vignettes, taglines, brothers and lovers and cockfights. And it's starring the 4 Bosco brothers. So
Nice.
it's the Fabulous Filipino Brothers. It's fun. It's going to show our world, and just kind of like, it's kind of like a romantic fairy tale around a wedding, but just like blue collar Filipinos, and just
Yeah, 'cause
crazy.
We've been to so many weddings. Every
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah.
Especially Filipino weddings is
Right,
just crazy.
Oh yeah.
All of them.
And it's just the Filipino Americans is just, we live a different kind of life.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we're Asian Americans, but we're different.
Yeah.
It's
funny because I was watching. We were watching the debut 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were watching the party, and I'm like, hey, these are just like the parties we're having here. Hey, they're line dancing. The DJ's board.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same way over
amazing to
here.
see your life up on the screen, because before you see that different experience.
Right.
Yeah. So.
All right, looks like we're gonna wrap it up. Ready, rock?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. So yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
so
we know
much.
you got the book coming up. I already pre-ordered.
and the book is coming out too.
From
Review to
Zuko.
Yeah.
So can't wait to get that.
Can't wait
November,
either.
right?
November 4th is coming out, and we'll be touring around with the book. And there's a lot going on right now.
Can't wait for that.
For sure. So the book, the film, a lot of other things. I mean, there's a lot of other shows and stuff that we're pitching in LA that it's all up in the air, but also some animated stuff that we're doing. It's always working.
Well,
It's 30 plus years now, so
keep doing your thing, because like I
Just keep
said,
working.
you are the man. You are the man in
I
Hollywood.
appreciate it.
Hey, don't
Like I
forget,
said.
you got a lot of love on the East Coast. So if you want to come by and do anything with us,
Yeah, I should definitely come out. It's hard for me to make the East Coast sometimes, and when I do, it's mainly like New York. But I should get involved a little more in the community out here, especially Virginia Beach. I hear so many great things about it.
Yeah.
It's just getting the time to come out and spend
I
time.
mean, you see the Comic-Con crowd here, but if you go to a Filipino event, man, it is
Yeah.
nuts.
I'm sure we'll end up doing a big event for the book,
Okay.
and or the movie when it comes out. And we'll figure out I don't know. We'll see. It's my directorial debut, so we'll be putting
Exciting.
a lot of, we'll be calling a lot of favors just
Good
to make
luck
sure
with
we
that.
make a good
Yeah.
impact with that film.
Good luck. All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks, Dante.
Pleasure.
Thank
you
you
guys,
so much.
man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Cheers.
In fact, I'm about to give Chad a chance.
Okay. I don't know how to stop this thing. Are you on, Cerno?
Yeah,
Am
I'm
I
on.
gone?
I'm on.
Okay,
I was gonna say
okay.
just hit the button to kill it.
Oh, I don't know how to do this.
This
Like I said,
crazy soundboard that we've only been messing with for like the past 10
we
years.
don't have a sound engineer working for us.
Yeah, you are the sound engineer.
So I got to figure this stuff out.
Yeah, it's all right.
On the
Yeah,
fly.
people get it. It's cool.
But yeah, that was our little discussion with Dante Basco.
Yeah.
So
Right. I apologize to all our video watchers that just watch us doing, they're just like, this is one of those things where we were just listening to audio. So
if you watch it, you get a little me in there.
we should have pantomimed it or something.
Well, I was going to do some stuff, but then I didn't want you getting mad.
Well, I didn't want to. I didn't want to detract from the audio because the audio was important. So I mean, we're drinking and we're just whatever. But
yeah,
anyway.
So yeah, Dante Basco. He's got, like I said, he's got the book coming out in November.
Yeah.
From Rufio to Zuko. You can order it now.
Yeah.
Pre-order it. I believe you can go to notacult.com.
Okay.
Or just Google it.
Yeah.
In fact, just look at his Instagram.
It's amazing.
Follow Dante Basco.
Amazing guy. Got a lot of irons in the fire. Definitely trying to give back to the communities.
You can really tell how important how important to him it is to get Filipinos in Hollywood successful.
Yeah.
It's really important to him, and you can hear it in what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And everything he's doing,
and everything he's saying about systems is like, it's the difference between being like rich and being wealthy. You can be rich for like a day, for like a month, whatever. Being wealthy is like a constant thing where you set up something. That's kind of what he's trying to do. Is like, not just, okay, we have a flash in the pan, like he said, where Asians are like at the forefront, but that's like, that could easily be a passing fad that it'll be done tomorrow. The next thing, they'll move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But he's trying to build something that'll last. I mean, might not be as huge, but it'll be a lasting thing that people can build on in the future. Which is, those are the kind of people that you want working for your cause. That they want to make something that'll be there for our children, at least, so that we can keep this thing going. He's
got this movie, his directorial debut.
Yeah,
The Fabulous Filipino Boys.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds.
Is that what he said? Fabulous Filipino Boys.
The Fabulous Filipino Brothers.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
Because I know it didn't sound like the Fabulous Baker Boys.
That's what popped in my head right away, though. Was Fabulous Baker Boys?
I know. I was like, it didn't sound like
the Fabulous Filipino Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that sounds like something that we should flock to.
It sounds like a Shaw Brothers movie to me, but like they should be like. But he said when he said Pulp Fiction, and I'm like, the media thing that you said, but I thought that like it's gonna be violent, but he said it's just gonna keep the comedy going.
I think he's talking about the structure of the plot, like how intricate the storylines in Pulp Fiction, like they're all separate storylines, but they kept intertwining with each other. I'm assuming that's what he meant. But hey, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah,
when it comes out, and
no doubt,
it sounds awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we just need to support.
Yeah,
we need to support.
I mean, I don't know what we can do, but the fact that if we can get people to actually start funding small films,
not even just funding films, it's just seeing the films, just going out and flocking to them.
But even what he was saying, that he wants to not just seeing it, he was saying beyond that, if they can make small films on a regular basis, one a month, it might be a little ambitious, but if we can do it, that'd be awesome. I mean, and there could be hits and misses. At least there's something there,
Yeah, like I said, I try to watch as much as I can on Netflix or on Amazon Prime. Those are the only ones I have. But like I said, I've seen Gook. He talked about Gook, Justin Chon, which I saw on Netflix. I do watch all these other ones. I mean, a lot of them I don't know what they are, but I will watch them just to see what it's about.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot out there. If people start watching it, they start making more. Or the companies.
That's the simple equation. The people, if the people with the money see that there's a demand for it and that they can make some money from it, they will make more of the same thing. If no one supports it, which you've always said to me, like, why don't you support these things? And maybe I don't do it enough. then they won't make anymore if there's no support for it. So we got to start showing our support for these projects. And if like you said, if it's not, they're not always going to be the best things, and
Yeah.
then, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I have so much to say about this, but like I said, the drive in Dante Basco, I could really feel it in him, and it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to do stuff.
He's like an influencer in the best way you can use the term. You
and
know?
that's why it's such a treasure to have him in our community.
Yes.
Other than just, people just see him as Rufio, or
Yeah.
people just see him as Zuko.
It was funny though. Like you could tell, like near the end, where you just lost your fanboy composure and just kind of gushed, and I'm like, yeah, there it goes. But still,
Man, even just now, I just can't believe that I met the guy.
Yeah,
I mean, cool. I know it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but to me, it's huge.
Right? Yeah.
Like I said, it is. If you were to list all the people who I would say is someone who I would like to meet or hang out with, he is he's up there for me.
Right.
He is up there, and like I said, thanks to Kid Heroes Productions for hooking that up, Patricio. Thanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hope to hear more from Dante Basco.
Yeah, like I said, during the interview, it's like I hope he shows up, comes around to the East Coast more often, because there is a lot of love for him, and there is a big community that he could help, spur forward if he, if he did more visits. Even just, I mean, he's doing a lot now. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I'm not putting down what he's doing now, but
no, he's doing a lot,
right?
More than what most people know about. So
yeah, but
what I would like to see is someone over here become a Dante Basco. I need someone to rise up and be that guy.
Yeah.
We need more Dante Bascos. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're good. No word of the day today because we're running long, and I drank a lot during that little.
I know. I'm like,
while we're listening, I drank a lot.
Maybe whiskey wasn't the best choice for it. Yeah, I don't know.
Make sure you visit our website, www.sini-gang.com.
Or email us at thesinigang@gmail.com.
Follow us on Twitter at the Sini-Gang.
Find us on Facebook on facebook.com/thesinigang, and look for our videos on YouTube. Do a search for our URL, www.sini-gang.com, and that should take you to our videos. If you go there, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Do that bell thing. That'd be great. So until next time, this is Sterno Supernova.
And this is l-boogy, the Elemental One, saying thanks for listening, and see you na.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in for this episode. Come back for the next one. Till then, take care.